Today's Wednesday, July 6, 2016. You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm Tom Seibert. I am the host of the Elevator Radio Show. It's great to be here this Wednesday morning, and I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. For those of us in the United States celebrating our nation's Independence Day, which seems to be more about politicians in parades and blowing fireworks off until the wee hours of the morning. But, yeah, hopefully everybody had a nice 3-day weekend. If you were on call or you were working, hopefully it was a light weekend for you all, and nothing major popped up during your time off. And if it was, hopefully you got some holiday pay for that day. Anyway, it's good to be here. Before I get any further, I would like to wish my wonderful wife a happy anniversary. It's our 20th year anniversary, and all I can say is holy crap. Yeah, there are days that it feels like it's been 20 years, and yet there's been days it has felt like it has been 5 or 2 or 100 for that matter. So, Tiff, happy 2.0. I love you with all my heart, and thank you for being my best friend. I greatly appreciate it, and thanks for putting up with all my elevator shenanigans. Anyway, so yeah, pretty cool. It's hard to believe 20 years. When you look back on anything you've done for 20 years, that's a long time. That's a long time. And if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I'll post some wedding photos over there later on this morning, hopefully right after I get the show done and get those scanned up. So feel free to take a look at how young I did look at one time. Hey, got a good show for you today. We unfortunately have some articles linking up some accidents, which is never good. And it's just as a reminder that we are all, even though we are all little tiny pawns in the world that we live in, we're all here for a reason, and we are all here, or you all have the ability to make your day what it is. Not that I'm a motivational speaker whatsoever, but, sometimes it's just good to be reminded of that because we are important in the lives that we touch each and every day, whether they're coworkers, whether they are our family members, whether they are customers or clients or the general riding public. So remember that, and hopefully everybody goes home safe and sound each and every day with all their body parts intact. So without further ado, we'll get into the news of the show and have you out of here in no time.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Alrighty, first news article of today's program is a reminder. Elevator World has opened their Project of the Year contest for 2017, which is great. So because it's an Olympic year here, or not here, but in the world, I guess I should say, this is my challenge. This is my challenge to my friends here in the United States. If you've got a project, let's see if we can sweep the Project of the Year for Elevator World so that they're all from the United States. Can we do that? Look at some of the categories that were posted last year and winners of the 2016 contest. But it's a great opportunity for you to be seen nationwide, worldwide, your company, your project. And I just encourage you, if you do submit a project like this to include those partners that you worked with to make the project, what it was and successful, whether they were vendors or consultants or inspectors, whatever. Just make sure you do that. So applications are over there. Entries will be published in the 2017 January edition, and you will be acknowledged accordingly. So let's see if we can't, win in every single category. Have a winner or project for the United States. I think it would be awesome. I don't know if that'll actually happen ever, but let's do that. So no matter how your project is and how cool, there's a good chance it might be featured in a future magazine. And again, just a cool way of being seen in front of your clients. So get your applications in, start thinking about it. And if for some reason you're in a project that's like multi-year or whatever, consider doing it for next year and putting something together. Okay, great, cool video by ThyssenKrupp Elevator. I think this was kind of I'm not 100% sure. Oh no, it is. I'm sorry. This is a video that was produced, or co-produced, I guess, by the Discovery Science Channel, looking inside elevators. And I got to tell you how cool it is to see elevator doors being made, and just it's cool to see the computer CGI or computer-generated graphics or information. I don't know, CGI. It's a really cool video. It's early. I apologize. I've only had like 2 cups of coffee, but check out the video. It's really neat, and hats off to ThyssenKrupp for putting something together so cool like this to show you kind of what goes on behind the scenes, how an elevator works, and just real cool. So check that out. Link is in the show notes. Next news article: New York City Housing Authority launches new safety campaign. This is better than their first safety campaign, and I'm gonna get out.
Need a ride? Get Dial 7's.
No, I don't need a ride. Anyway, really cool video. The next link actually shows is tuned into the YouTube channel. And if this page fails or freezes because the advertisement doesn't want a page, I'm going to be very upset. Anyway, but very cool. And in the New York City Housing Authority is really hitting home what to do if the elevator stops and the doors don't open. Just stay there. In what they came up with was, come on, you can do it, page. Disable scripts and preview. Oh, great. Detected error. I'm telling you, it's a crazy morning for computer issues. I'm dealing with one on the accounting side of my day job where general ledger accounts are not matching up, and which is a little frustrating because they should in certain instances. I've been kind of doing that in addition to doing the show, whatnot, just to. And it's not easy. I got to do it before work starts, or else we don't have an accounting system to enter orders and whatnot. So anyway, okay. So what the New York City Housing Authorities come up with is stay safe, stay put. Great video. Click on the link and watch it. I'm not going to do it, but share it with your colleagues, your friends, and it's an important safety message to remember. So do that, and you could help save a life. Okay, Regency Square elevator still broken. It's one of those investigative reporting. And I'm going to get off of here before it just jumps up. This is in Michigan, and it's just one of those deals where you feel bad, but ultimately it comes back to an accessibility or a fair housing person being brought into the news story, talking about this could be it is a violation of the fair housing, whatever. But at the end of the day, what does the lawsuit do? I mean, does it really get to the point? Does it fix the elevator quicker? Probably. But it still costs money to do this. And my advice to anybody who is aging or getting older, where they might consider retirement, don't move into a building that has one elevator. Do not move into a building that has an old elevator, and consider just moving into a building that has one, like a ranch or a house that is like that. That's my advice to you. And unfortunately, there are issues beyond what the article covers that may also be at hand, such as bills not being paid. And whatnot, and money being there to fix elevators. So anyway, KWCAX.com has a cool kind of post talking about the White Face Mountain elevator. It's slated for renovation. It's an 80-year-old elevator inside a mountain is getting a multi-million-dollar makeover. So pretty cool. Be curious to see what kind of equipment they actually install, because as you may know, or may have been keeping in touch with the Washington Monument, the elevator that was taken out of there Original one, I don't know what kind of service record it had or how detailed it was when it was replaced for shutdowns, but some of the newer equipment in some of these more difficult applications really do need something above and beyond, like something that like Minnesota Elevator would put together. They're one of their packages that would prevent against moisture, condensation, stuff like that, really affecting the system. So that's kind of cool. Okay, next news article. Really not a new app. I don't really guess one of those Philadelphia CBS Local.com has an article. I think it's kind of more of a press release, but it's hard to tell. Talking about an app from Schindler called MyPort, kind of allowing or tabulating data so that it knows kind of the best means of moving people up and down in the in the building, and basically it kind of goes back to destination dispatch and whatnot. And God, I hate all these ads that play. I just hate them. You know, I really wish that ad revenue was not generated based on somebody clicking on a page, because it's like, just seems like people are trying to get around the whole, it just doesn't seem like some of these websites make a difference in how they advertise. Okay, channel, WSSCMP.com, South China Morning Post has a article talking about a boy 3 loses toe in Ocean Park escalator nightmare. And, if I was in China, I sure would be a little wary of posting allegedly, statements such as the person that was a part of the accident, not the child, was offered $100,000 to keep quiet about an accident that led to the amputation and exposed outdated safety legislation. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be that person or that reporter throwing that out there, unfortunately. But yeah, terrible accident, and this is when we reported on a while ago. The article really is just getting to the fact that allegedly the person was offered $100,000 Hong Kong money to be quiet. I don't know how 1 out of 67 is really going to make a big difference, to be honest with you. So, but and especially when the mall or the facility is owned by the Chinese government. So anyway, okay, this is an interesting news article. What I found was funny was they posted not only the panel from the firefighters, but the pre-roll from that, which is kind of interesting. You think they would have trimmed it down or whatnot, but this is the report that was put together involving the city fire department in, I want to say, Cincinnati, who fell down an elevator shaft while he was fighting a fire. And at the end of the day, city officials realized that training really needs to be part of, they need more training when it comes to elevators when they're fighting a fire, et cetera, et cetera. So click on the link. Audio is awful, but, obviously you need something like this to come out of when an event, a tragedy like that happens. So, and that is the result on that. I'm sure you can look for the report online, and if you're a firefighter, it would probably be more advantageous or more interesting to you to see how they're handling that. So hjnews.com, I have no idea where the story came from. Seems like it would be something that would be happening in a third world country or China, and because I couldn't believe it. I'm like, where is Hiram? But apparently baby falls down elevator shaft in Hiram. How in the world this happens, I have no idea, but apparently a 10-month-old baby boy was transported to Logan Regional Hospital Saturday evening after he fell 8 feet down an elevator shaft inside a Hiram home. Man, apparently the door to the lift was apparently left open by mistake. Yeah, terrifying, just terrifying. Oh, man. Really couldn't believe it. When I read that, I was like, really? That happened here? I don't know how a door opens for an elevator when it's not there. That's I guess, my first question. Okay. yeah, just not good. Okay, in India, see this kind of story that you'd expect to hear in another country. 21-year-old crushed to death by hospital elevator. This was in Mathura. No thanks, no alerts. Apparently, he pressed the button, the door opened, but the elevator didn't arrive. He looked inside the shaft, and at the same moment, the elevator, which was stuck between the third and fourth floor, fell down on him and crushed him. I wish we never had to read any kind of articles like this in the world happening. It's just awful. Another accident, this time involving a Navy sailor. Virginia pilot reporting that the sailor's in critical condition after falling down the USS Kearsarge elevator shaft. This is not, in any elevator that's on a U.S. Navy ship, it is a little different than what you and I ride on, the general riding public for that matter. Apparently, the sailor fell down after it was an elevator shaft that used to move weapons aboard the amphibious assault ship. So, yeah, hopefully he makes a speedy recovery, but he is in critical condition, which means that he probably hit his head pretty hard. So, I've seen people hit their head really hard. It's awful. It's awful. So, on a positive note, in the UK, the CoventryObserver.co.uk has a great article where primary school pupils deliver escalator safety messages as part of a new project. I think this kind of giving back and coming up with programs to help promote safety is awesome. So apparently children at St. Mary and St. Benedict Catholic Primary School were challenged to create an eye-catching poster to educate people about escalator safety. They did just that, which I think is awesome. And yeah, I think this is awesome. This is kind of a joint effort between the local mall. I just think is awesome. So we need more types of community service projects like this for kids to learn the value of giving back and also trying to make the world a better place. And I think escalator safety is one of those, and elevator safety is one of those, or two of those areas where we can all make a difference in that arena. CapitolHillSeattle.com. I don't know why this is posted, but people took the time to write in. First one was from MindF*CK on Twitter. They switched the escalators in the Capitol Hill station. A bunch of people asking, what's going on, and the station responded that we have to reverse the escalators so that the wear is spread evenly. But yeah, again, it's crazy that people, have the time to tweet about that. And although I'm not surprised. I had to basically yell at my 13-year-old or 14-year-old. I don't even know how old he is. Anyway, my youngest, when we were driving home on the 4th of July, to put his freaking phone down. I'm like, dude, put your phone down. Look out the window. Look for fireworks. Enjoy the outdoor world. Life is passing you by. And then I went for a bike ride last night and saw some kid who was probably 12 or 11 riding his bike and texting at the same time. I want to just say, what the hell? What the hell has our world come to where we can literally not put our phones down? Put the damn thing down. Enjoy the outside world. The world is a beautiful place. We should not be tied into this little freaking device that, oh my gosh. Oh, sometimes I just want to go live in a hole. And I'm not antisocial or anything, but come on. I just get so done. I get tired of it. And if I know there's going to be a day when, anyway, enough of my soapbox. Good friend of mine, Julie, sent me an email with a photo that showed we are in the zombie apocalypse, and it shows basically a whole bunch of people walking around with their heads buried in their phone. Man, when is some idiot attorney going to come up with, some major litigation against phone companies because there's multiple accidents and neck injuries because everybody's got their head down looking at their phone? Some class action lawsuit. I guarantee it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And when it does, I'm going to just say, told you so. Just told you so. Oh, man. Sigh. I really want to swear right now. I do. Because between my youngest and the kid riding the bike, I was riding the other way. I was just like, come on. Really? Okay, moving on. The space elevator is back in the news. The Shimbun news source, University Orbiter set to lift space elevator technology. It's kind of cool. Some students at the Shizuoka University unveiled on June 8th Stars-C Space Tether Autonomous Robotic Satellite Cube, which is very, very small. It's a microsatellite. It's specifically designed to test the space tether, a cable essential in connecting Earth with the space station high above the atmosphere. It's very light, and it's made of Kevlar. I don't know. I think still we're kind of far away from this, but hey, hats off to you guys for coming up with something like that. That's very innovative, very, very innovative, and very cool. Hopefully that'll work someday. Hopefully that'll work someday within my lifetime, right? I just don't see physically how that can happen, but there's a lot of things I don't understand about the world we live in, the people that live in it, and learn something new every day. I do. KMTA sued over lack of elevator at subway station in the Bronx. Gonna let everybody read this and watch the video on their own. Having been, I don't want to say involved because I don't want to say that, but having been aware or brought up to speed on a similar lawsuit in another transit station a few years ago, I can totally understand why this guy is pissed off because, the station did a whole bunch of modernizations. Elevator was not part of it because of the design. But at the end of the day, the news story, the reporter says, hey, they've made other ADA provisions, but they just didn't put an elevator in. I totally get that, And at the end of the day, you wonder how something like this could kind of go under, unseen, because you can always put an elevator in somewhere, and whoever's name is on the permit and the plans and all that, you can just figure that somebody's going to be in trouble. And it's just going to cost city more money. And it shouldn't come to a lawsuit to get something done. They're probably going to end up having to put an elevator in. And it's not going to be inexpensive by any means. So money that the MTA most likely didn't have in terms of litigation and all that good stuff. So, okay, Risha Sturgeon Hedrick got a cool blog post talking about Around the World and Back Again and what's coming up in Elevator World Magazine. Check that out. Link is in the show notes. Always like to read her editorials. Lots of stuff going on worldwide. So check that out. Link is in the show notes. And the last news article of the story of the show today, which is really, really important. I know we did post this back in May, and the only reason why I reposted it was because I don't know if we had the information that was regarding him losing half of his arm. But after Elevator U, Dick Gregory had had an eye-opening presentation on counterweights and basement traction machine. It was just terrifying to see how quickly and how quiet counterweights are in a hoistway, and just make sure you're careful. We don't need accidents in our industry. As a mechanic, as a technician, as an inspector, we just need to minimize them as best that we can. So do your part, spread the word on safety, and let's make sure everybody goes home each and every day to their loved ones, and that's all we can do. So, and that's going to do it for this week's show, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Happy anniversary, Tiffany. I love you. I've loved you for 20 years. I'll love you for another 20 or more, however long I'm on this earth. And that's going to do it for this week's show, everybody. So thanks again for tuning in. Have safe travels if you're traveling for a vacation, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.